And we're back with a special food edition of Shop This List. This morning, we're cooking up 2 easy appetizers for your holiday hosting. And here to share what she calls the perfect party bites is Chef Laura Vitale. Remember, just scan that QR code to shop these recipes and add everything to your cart from Target with just one click. Chef, good to see you. You know what I'm noticing about these 2 appetizers?
Yes.
The common denominator is puff pastry.
It is.
Which I think is, I don't know, pork's in both too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
But puff pastry's got to be one of the most underutilized
It is, and it's a perfect thing
ingredients.
to keep on hand because you can store it in the freezer. It thaws really quickly, and you can make things like topping a pot pie.
Right.
You can make an appetizer. You can go sweet or savory.
You can put anything inside puff pastry, and it's like this
anything.
fresh, magical thing.
And it's flaky, it's buttery, it's delicious. It works every time. And I love these little bacon and gruyere twists, which are one of my very favorite things. I've been making them for years. They have the perfect combination of the flaky, salty, and sweet, they require very few ingredients, actually.
All right, how do we start?
So we've got a sheet of puff pastry. If yours is frozen, make sure that you thaw it, and then you're just gonna, before you cut it, you're gonna just sprinkle it with a little gruyere.
The whole thing? Yep.
Yep, the whole thing. Just sprinkle it. And then you kind of want to press it in so that it kind of holds into the pastry.
You like gruyere because it's just a melty, great
nutty.
cheese?
It's just a little nutty. And again, it's giving you that really great combination of the nuttiness from the cheese and the smokiness of the bacon, the sweetness and the herbs from the brown sugar. It works really well.
That's how you feel about Uncle Al.
You see?
And then
you cut this into 10 strips, or depending on the size, it might be 12 strips. Yeah, but
so
10
I'm gonna
is
go half
usually
first.
fine.
What do you think of that idea?
Perfect. And then what I have here is just a few strips of bacon, and this is something that you can assemble in advance, pop it into your fridge, and if you can give it some time to chill, it's actually even better so that your pastry is even flakier. Look at that. What a professional. Look at you.
Yes, got it. Thank you.
Then you take a strip of bacon, and I like to dip it into some brown sugar and rosemary because the combination together is really lovely. And then you place it on top of that perfect piece of puff pastry.
How do you twist this
and then
thing?
you just hold each end and you literally just twist.
Look at that.
Just like once.
That's it.
And pull out. Well, the rosemary's a really nice touch in this.
Perfect,
Do you have
right?
to use fancy bacon or like any old bacon?
Any old bacon works. Any old bacon works, and that's why I love it because it's things that you can keep in the fridge and the freezer, and it works really well. Bake them until they're golden, puff, and gorgeous, and I'm telling you, they are a hit every single time.
Okay.
Beautiful. Look at that. Now we're making sausage rolls because we love sausage rolls. And again, these are things that you may already have on hand. And if you're running to the store to pick up any last minute things, you're running into Target for that last minute gift, you go to the cheese section. Any good and gathered cheese really works here. I'm using sharp cheddar, but if you just wanted to use leftover Gruyere, it works.
Yep.
And to a bowl, you've got some caramelized onion, some ground sausage, your cheese of choice, breadcrumbs, a little bit of Dijon mustard, a little Worcestershire sauce. Yes. A little salt. Go ahead. A little salt, a little pep. And you're going to mix that around until it's really well combined.
I like to clean up as I go.
I love that because so do I.
Okay, Eddie Haskell.
So do I.
Eddie Haskell.
And you're going to just mix that
You look
together
lovely
really
today,
well.
Mrs. Cleaver.
You'll just mix that together really well. And then that same sheet of puff pastry that I've just divided in half lengthwise, and you'll take some of that filling. I'll take half of that. You just place it down the middle. Easy. Perfect. Love it. Good job. I'll take the spatula. You kind of form it into a log. It's going to take you just, a few seconds, but it works. You form it into a small log, and then you'll
Holiday sausage Yule log.
Yes, and then you'll brush the sides with your egg wash, and then you kind of just literally fold it.
If you have just like frozen sausage, like links, can you just take the casing out and squeeze it out and
but of course.
just make this thing work?
Of course. You brush it on both sides so that your crust your pastry actually sticks, and you pop it into the freezer for 20 minutes so that that dough can get nice and chilled. Brush the top with a little bit more egg wash. Sprinkle some little bit of everything seasoning here.
Could you do this the night before and just leave it in the freezer?
Absolutely. And cut them into little pieces about 2 inches because they do shrink a little.
This is the sort of thing, you know, when you go to a party and someone whips out the cocktail weenies.
That's it.
That's the thing everybody loves the most. Both of these are that. They're the ones that everybody devours.
Elevated pig in a blanket.
Yeah. Exactly. And then they're just baked until golden, puff, and perfection.
Chef, thank you so much. We're going to have more of these delicious recipes again in the third hour. Again, you can buy the ingredients from Target by scanning the QR code or heading to today.com/shop this list.
We're back with a special food edition of our series Shop This List. And today cooking up an easy holiday chicken dinner is gonna wow your guests. Dessert too. Chef Laura Vitale is here. Scan the QR code, shop these recipes. You can also add everything to your cart from Target with just one click. Laura, welcome back.
Sounds good. Good morning. What do we make?
Sounds delicious.
We are going to make a really simple cranberry skillet chicken that is fantastic. It's really tangy, so it's a little bit of a departure from the really rich, heavy, sort of sweet glazed roast you might have around this time of year, and it's really simple. I'm using chicken breast, but feel free to use bone-in, skin-on chicken thighs, whatever. Like that's my preference, but honestly, whatever you can grab while you're out and about, that's on a good deal.
You just salt both sides?
Salt and pepper both sides.
Salt there, buddy.
Heavily salted, okay?
Great, Al.
Heavily salted. I love to use a cast iron skillet. It should sizzle a little more, but
why do you like the cast iron?
It just conducts heat really well. It gives you a beautiful crust. It goes from stovetop to oven, which is really nice because we are going to finish this into the oven once we get it going. So once your chicken is in the skillet, you want to just give it some time to develop a beautiful crust. It won't cook all the way through because, as you can see, it's not that thinly pounded chicken breast. It's like a good solid 6-ounce chicken breast. Take those out once they've browned, and then I like to add some shallots. I leave them about nice and chunky. I want to, have them lengthwise, remove the outer layer.
So put them the flat side down?
Flat side down. And what you're looking for is, again, a little color, texture. They will continue to cook into the oven, but for now, you're just looking to develop some really beautiful color. While that happens, you can get started on making your sauce. I'm using some Good and Gather chicken broth for this, which is really easy to find. You're in stores this time of year, grab it while you're in there, and it's going to start off with a little bit of chicken stock. If you would whisk everything for me, that would be lovely.
I'll whisk.
Well, actually,
you should probably have this in your pantry all the time, every day.
You should actually.
So I've got chicken broth,
a little bit of freshly squeezed orange juice. This is some honey. And depending on how sweet you want your dish to be, you could add more honey. But I think if you're not going to be squishing down your cranberries as this cooks, I think a couple tablespoons is perfect. A little balsamic. Yes. And some fresh rosemary, along with a really good pinch of salt. Get that whisking, and then everything goes back into your original skillet. And I like to give it a heads up so that it can start to bubble and reduce and thicken and become really beautiful and glossy.
It tastes Thanksgiving-y.
It does. It has that good little flair to it. And then I'm going to add my cranberries. Now you can do one or two things. You can bring this to a simmer and squish down your cranberries. Your sauce will be more tart. Or you can leave your cranberries whole, put your seared chicken back in and your shallots back in, pop the whole thing into the oven just for 15 minutes so that the chicken's cooked through.
Like 350, 375?
Yeah, about 375. And then you leave your cranberries whole, and that way you get these beautiful pops of tartness when you want them, but your sauce is a little stickier.
It's so simple.
It's very simple, but it works every time. So once it's fully cooked through, serve it with a little mash of choice, and you're done.
And you paired it with the tiramisu.
And for dessert, we did a spin on tiramisu. We did a gingerbread tiramisu.
Oh, that's fun.
I actually do a no-egg tiramisu most of the time, and I like to use a little flavored coffee creamer to add some additional flavor to it. And you could use a gingerbread coffee creamer. I like to use a hazelnut or even a French vanilla. Really, whatever you have on hand works, and it's foolproof. You can make it ahead of time, which is always great.
This is unbelievable.
Wait, I want to try.
Isn't it delicious?
Oh my goodness.
And I love the idea of the little individual ones.
Yeah, I love the individual. I use ginger snaps or ginger cookies for that holiday.
I actually like this better than regular tiramisu.
See? Isn't it amazing?
So you just put the gingerbread cookie?
Yeah, I just soak the gingerbread cookies in a mixture of coffee and coffee creamer, and then that gives it that additional flavor.
How long does that take?
Oh my God, this is delicious.
It doesn't take very long at all. You dip them for a few seconds, but it's great to make it in advance so that if you're having a big holiday dinner and you don't want to deal with dessert last minute,
Laura, we're going nuts right now.
make it the night before, and it actually gets better as
And does it? I was going to ask you. So is it just as yummy the next day?
It's actually better the next day because that flavor really gets deep in those cookies, and the cookies get really tense. I love tiramisu because it's versatile, but I also just love.
You're having lunch right now. I like to see it.
We can't stop. We're both
wrap this.
I love it.
I don't think there's going to be anything to wrap.
Laura, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You can buy the ingredients for this recipe from Target by scanning the QR code or today.com/shop this list.